I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the Vietnam Veterans News Podcast. News of interest about Vietnam veterans from a Vietnam veteran. Now, here's your host, Mac Payne.
This is Mac Payne here with episode 1770 of the Vietnam Veteran News Podcast. News about the Vietnam War and the brave veterans who served there, as told to you by yours truly, a Vietnam veteran. On this episode today, I'm telling you what, whenever you hear a delay like that, that means I screwed up and I'm going to edit that out. Okay.
That's good.
I have two special guests with me today that are going to tell us all about a very special thing coming out of Waco, Texas. Today, we're going to be talking about something called the Legacy Staffs. If you don't want to get one for yourself, I'll tell you what. If you want to impress a friend of yours who is a veteran, or you know a veteran or whatever, if you give them one of these personalized sticks, I guarantee you they'll be a friend of yours for life. So now, without any further ado, I'd like to ask either Joseph or Jediah to come on here and tell us about these. I'm excited to hear more about it because you tell me it has a very, very interesting history. So how about it, Joseph?
Mac, thank you so much for having us on. This is really exciting. It's really good to be serving veterans at all, let alone in this way. We wanted to come and talk about the story behind the Legacy Staff. The staffs speak for themselves. If you go on the website, you can just take a look at them. They're custom, handmade in America by domestic product. But I actually want to hand it over to Jediah, tell a little story about why do we do what we do.
Let me let everybody know you are Jediah, the son of the owner. Now we know who's speaking, so go ahead.
Yes, sir. This is my first podcast. You'll have to excuse me if there's any problems with my express myself here, but
You're doing great. Keep it up.
Thank you. So I grew up around this stuff. The company was actually started about the year I was born. Like any business or product or project, it usually starts kind of where there's a problem to solve or a demand to fill. And my dad comes from a long line of entrepreneurs trying new things, starting different projects. And at the time, he was making custom picture frames, but he was positioned in a small community where there was some folks that needed work, and there was an opportunity that popped up to make these handcrafted walking sticks for hikers. And since then, we have just grown, been a family-operated business and friends and local employees. And we've just grown slowly and started selling to national parks, state parks, a lot of mom and pop shops, a lot of hardware stores. I actually got to join the company about 3 years ago, just trying to meet folks' needs, trying to solve problems, help people get outside, help people get exercise, feel inspired, not have to use cheesy aluminum medical devices, but actually carry around a American crafted, cool conversation piece that functions really well. So that's kind of where I come at it from and been my experience. So
How many employees do you have there?
it's kind of an interesting question because from the very first of this business, we've operated on a unique model. We have a core of employees here at the facilities, but we have well over that amount, 15 to 20 at any given time, individual craftsmen working from their homes. That really was from the very start of the company because we felt like it was good for as many people to work from home as they could. So they could be with their family, they could be close. You know, they may be a small-time farmer, they may have other projects going on, but they could kind of incorporate their job into the life they wanted to live with their family and close to home.
So for many years, you were making these sticks and canes and whatever, and then you got into this Legacy Staff program, which is aimed at honoring veterans. Tell us about that.
It really started there's two threads, and one of them was my grandfather. He's now passed away just a couple months ago. He was a veteran of the Second World War, and he would love talking about his military experiences and that, but it's kind of awkward. You don't want to just bring up, hey, I was a veteran, to anyone that doesn't want to talk about it. So he made him a stick that had his rank, what branch of the military he was in, had a nice medallion on top. And he loved it because he would just be walking through the store, picking up groceries or whatever. And whoever was interested would see, they might catch a glimpse of his stick and they'd say, oh, you served in the military? And it was just a perfect jumping off point to have a great conversation. Became a kind of a jumping off point for relationships. That was one thread. The other thread is our whole family loves history. Some of the most impactful history I've read personally has been about the Vietnam War. I think it's especially an issue for Vietnam veterans because it's kind of, the war not a lot of people like to talk about. So it can be contentious to some, it can be embarrassing to some. Like, some people don't want to talk about it, some people don't want to bring it up. The vets feel like people don't want to talk to them about it. But there's a lot of people, I think, genuinely interested. I know I, for one, have found the whole thing fascinating. And so how do you carry on the legacy of how you served or how your friends served or how your loved ones served in a way that's not offensive, that's not in your face, but it's classy, besides the fact that it's personalized with your name on it. But that's kind of the heart of what we're trying to do and kind of why we're doing it.
Jed, what you said there too was so interesting to me. It was really, it had so much to do with your relationship to Mitchell, your grandfather. The creation of that staff was a heartfelt gift from you to him, not just to honor him, but to free him to speak with people about this thing he felt he sacrificed so much for. He wanted to share with people about the value of their lives and the value of their freedom, and this was the perfect centerpiece for it. That's what always touches me about this.
Can you only buy these through the website? And the people that buy them, are they people who are buying them for themselves, if you can tell this, or are they buying them for someone else?
We've actually seen a solid mix, but to go back to your first question, because of the nature of this particular stick and how customized it is, where you can pick what kind of wood, whether it's a cane or a staff, what kind of a medallion. We offer almost 100 of those, or you can laser, a custom design on there if you contact us. But at the moment, it is mainly through our website.
I've been to your website, and I see in there where you can customize this just about any way. And it's easy. It's user-friendly. You can tell them what type of wood. You can tell them the shape. You can give them your military service, and they'll put a medallion on there. You can put names and everything. And say your grandfather was in the Vietnam War, and you gave him one of these sticks. I can see how that would be a very, very special gift to a veteran, especially like you brought up earlier. When we came home from the Vietnam War, we weren't really welcomed with open arms. There's numerous reasons for that, but it is what it is. And I have gone around speaking, not coast to coast, but close to it, to different groups about the veterans. I still run into veterans who will come up to you and talk, since you are a veteran, and they say, I have never spoken about the Vietnam War after all these years, strictly because of the way this person was treated at the airport in San Francisco. Everybody who went over to Vietnam, they were just regular people like you and I, and we were asked by the government to go over and serve in this war. We went over there and we came home. We were just regular people, glad to be home. And some of the things that were said to those veterans are just incredibly terrible. And a lot of these guys, they were affected by it. You're sensitive and you come back happy and somebody comes up and starts screaming baby killer and all this. So I can see how a stick like this would be very special to them after all this time. So I think it's a wonderful thing what you're doing here, and encourage you. Matter of fact, I'm encouraging everybody to go to that website, which will be on the show notes for this podcast episode, and order your grandfather or uncle or whoever one of these sticks. I just can't say enough about it. I don't want to hog the show here. You're supposed to be doing all the talking, but I'm looking at this stick and I just get overwhelmed with what a wonderful thing it is. And something else, I hate to bring this up. Is there anyone else in the country doing anything like this?
So there is one fellow who we're still in contact with that we kind of fed off each other in working on this project. Forgetting the name of his product right now.
So he'll put out something that's on a much smaller scale. And there are others who will pop up across the country from time to time. For instance, they'll take donation Christmas trees and turn them into sticks for veterans too. But nobody is going to be going year round with international dropship capabilities like us.
You're the only people doing it on a professional basis that people can rely on for consistent service and quality. You're going to be there where somebody just doing it on the side, he may be there today and gone tomorrow. You're the real deal.
Yes, sir. I just remembered the name of the other fellow.
Hold
he calls
it.
him. Okay.
So,
we'll talk about him after the call.
All right.
so we're so excited about it. Actually, we're so excited even just to be on your show. What I think would be best for your listeners is if everybody on this show who would like a free stick or cane, email mackpayne@gmail.com, MACKPAYNE @gmail.com with your name, your rank, your years of service, your branch, whatever you want to say about your service in the Vietnam War. And we're going to give away 4 free custom staffs you can build with us from the ground up, one for each branch of the service that was present in the conflict at Vietnam.
Gosh, that's awfully generous. All
We've
right.
got 4 to give away, and everyone else that wants one, go to our website and type in Mac's name, Mac Payne, in the coupon code bar, and you'll get 10% off, and a small donation will go to the charity of Mac's choosing.
You mean I have to choose the charity?
You get to choose whatever you see fit. It could be the Mac Payne Foundation.
I'm honored that you would do that, and I will definitely pick out a good one. If you are listening to this podcast, do not delay. Send me that email. It is simple, MacPayne, MACKPAYNE @gmail.com. I have one of these legacy staffs, and I am totally impressed with it. It is a fine, fine piece of artwork. I will always treasure it, and you'll do the same thing too. It can be for you, or you may have a loved one who is a Vietnam veteran that you would like to present to them. That's okay too. Just put that in your email. But make sure you get it to me as soon as possible so that you might be the lucky one who receives one for your particular branch of service. If you are one of the lucky people who receive one of these sticks, I guarantee you will appreciate it. It is a wonderful thing, and I appreciate so much what those guys out in Waco, Texas are doing to honor our Vietnam veterans. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. This is Mac Payne here, closing out episode 1770 of the Vietnam Veteran News Podcast. Thank you so much for coming to listen to these stories. You are cordially invited to return again soon and often to listen to more coming your way on this podcast, the Vietnam Veteran News.